John Meadows is definitely somebody you should be following. Welcome back, everybody, for another review, and I hope your year is actually going pretty well, and your workouts too. Hope you're making some good progress. And today, for our new review, it is John Meadows' Warlock program, which is an intermediate-specific hypertrophy program, and it's a great program. So getting into it, guys, it's an 8-week long program total. 2 phases essentially, so each one is 4 weeks long, or 2 blocks, and he goes over in full detail for each of those. And like I said, it's an intermediate program. So if you're someone who is a beginner who's been training consistently for the past year, at least a year, and feel like you're ready to advance to that next level in intensity and volume and stuff like that, and in terms of the type of exercises you do, this program is a great stepping stone into that intermediate level. So the program, like I said, it's 8 weeks long with those 2 blocks. It's an upper-lower split. So each day kind of has an emphasis, like one of the upper body days has a chest emphasis, and then the other days might have a particular emphasis for that as well, like a back emphasis or a quad emphasis. And overall, I think he did a fantastic job on it. Now, before you even get to the program itself, again, he includes a very well detailed manual on it. So first off, he goes over basic principles of not only hypertrophy, but exercise as well. And this includes progressive overload, mechanical loading, basic muscular structure and how that overall works and ties into lifting, and muscle protein synthesis. He goes over that, along with training frequency and a slew of other things. And then he goes into a section on the program itself, how it works, what he's looking for with it, the basic ideology and principles of what he designed here, such as the number of sets you're going to be doing, the RPE and what that is and how to determine that. Remember, it's rate of perceived exertion. It helps you determine how much weight you're going to use for a particular exercise. He goes into full detail on that, how to properly warm up, and then actually goes into a pretty detailed section on recovery, including about sleep and basic nutrition principles. And that leads into an actual third section that he has, which is a basic diet section. And again, it is real basic principles that he's go over here. It's not super detailed, it just gets you in the right direction, such as how you should basically be eating, including the protein you should be having, how much, stuff like that, how to get the proper amount of nutrients that you need for optimal muscle and strength gaining, as well as aiding in your recovery. Again, he has a whole entire website and specific diet programs that he sells that you can sign up for. So there wasn't much reason to go into super detail about this, but it's nice that he did include this little section on diet as well. Now, getting into the program itself, he includes everything you would need for it. And the way he actually wrote the program is not going to leave you guessing on how to do anything at all, because on each workout day, each training session, for every single exercise he lists, he includes a full detail on what he's looking for in terms of technique and how to perform the exercise, along with a basic example on how to do the warm-up. And there's also, every exercise has a link to a YouTube video that demonstrates the exercise for you, so you know you're doing it right. Includes that for every single exercise you have in there. So it's not just do this number of reps with this number of sets. It actually goes into basically everything that you need to know to get the most out of each training session. And speaking of the videos, the YouTube link there, he also includes YouTube links all throughout the manual itself. So like in the warm-up section and a bunch of other ones, he includes links to YouTube videos that he has, because he has his own YouTube channel as well. So if there's not something that he necessarily explains in that manual, he includes a link to it for a video that he goes into a lot of detail for as well. So you can learn a lot from this. And by the way, guys, if there's something that you're not entirely sure about, or you don't think he necessarily went over in the manual, just go to his YouTube channel, because I pretty much guarantee he went over it there, because he has a ton of information on his YouTube channel. it's a huge wealth of knowledge from him, because John Meadows, for anybody who knows him, is extremely knowledgeable when it comes to all stuff. He's an IFBB pro as well, and he has his CSCS, his Certified Strength and Conditioning certification as well, you know, the same one that I have. He knows exactly what he's talking about, and he knows a lot of people in the industry, a lot of people, including prominent researchers. And in terms of the programming itself, it's done great. It's exactly how it should be, how an upper-lower split program should be done. He often starts out, again, with a compound movement, moving into isolation movements, the volume for intermediate level. Remember, this is not advanced, it's intermediate, so the overall volume for it is exactly where it should be. The exercise selection is perfectly fine, and it's great. There's some interesting exercises he has in there that are actually effective. I've tried a bunch of them myself. They're really great as well. And some of it's going to look a little bit different because he doesn't necessarily start with exact compound movement that you think he would. Like, for example, he doesn't necessarily start with squats at the very top. He might start with lying leg curls first and then go into squats or something like that. Keep in mind, there's nothing wrong with this at all. It's not like you have to start with a compound movement immediately as the first exercise. The reason he has it that way is often because it can help put your energy into warming up part of your legs best as you can. Because if you do an all-out set on squats, you're not going to have a whole lot of energy necessarily to do like a laying leg curl to work your hamstrings as much as you necessarily should. So by doing leg curls or lying leg curls first, then your energy is going to go towards working on your hamstrings great, and then it's not going to be so taxing that you're not going to have a ton of energy for squats, because you will. You have plenty of energy left for squats, and then whatever else exercise that you're going to do after this. So the way he has the exercise order and the way he has it over programmed is exactly how it should be, exactly how I honestly would put it myself. And like I said, he's a super knowledgeable guy. He knows what he's talking about, what he's doing. Now, having said that, there is some feedback I have. You know, every program I go over, there's some feedback I have. The first one I have here is that there's one section missing, and some of you could probably guess it, that I think it should include, which is exercise substitutions. This is a big proponent of mine. This is something I think every program should have. Again, there's nothing wrong with the exercise selection that he has. They're all perfectly fine, great staples, they'll all work. But at the end of the day, there's some of you that will need to make an exercise substitution or two because of an injury or whatever the reason may be. So I think, again, he needs an explanation or a section there telling you how to do that exactly. And then the other feedback I have here, the second one, is that in the manual he makes references to basic research, like the research that says how many sets per muscle group per week you should have, which is between 10 to 20 sets. That's the usual amount of what the current research says, which is correct. Everything he says that references towards research is correct. But what he should have done is actually cite that research. So at the end of the program, make a list of the actual sources that he used for that research. Because I have no doubt that he knows exactly what he's talking about and that he has read this research. I mean, he personally knows a lot of these actual researchers, like Brad Schoenfeld. He personally knows the guy and is friends with him, and they talk all the time. He knows what the research says. So you know when he references a particular research that it is legitimate. I'm just saying that he should have, again, included an actual citation and list of where he got that research from, so you can go and check it out yourself. But other than that, guys, that's really the only two things I have for feedback here. It's an overall fantastic program. Liked it a lot. Includes tons of detail on basic principles that'll get you right on the correct path here, especially as an intermediate. So I'm giving it a score of 9.5 out of 10, just that half point off again because of that one section, exercise substitutions, that wasn't there, and the fact that he should have again cited that research that he mentions. So that is my review for John Meadows' Warlock program. If you guys are looking to get into an intermediate level type of program, you can't go wrong with this one at all. It's well priced. You're gonna like it a lot. It's gonna get you right on the correct path. So I hope you enjoyed this review for today, guys. Next week we will have another review yet again. Stay tuned for that, and I will see you next week.